the Infiniti G and Q60 IPL models. What is IPL? It stands for Infiniti Performance Line. Now, obviously, today we don't see the IPL name being used anymore because this is a failed attempt by Infiniti to create a performance lineup of vehicles. So the vehicles we're talking about today, it's the G Coupe, and also later on for 2014-2015, the same body style of the G was later named the Q60, and obviously we know what the Q60 looks like today. 2015 was actually only available as a convertible model, but we can touch on that later. So Infiniti is a brand that I really like, especially this G series generation, right, from the G35, G37. I thought these were some really excellent cars, and when they first came out, they really were at the top of their game. And it was a great alternative to things like the 3 Series, the C-Class, and even the Lexus IS. Infiniti was always this performance-oriented brand. Today, maybe not so much, but before they really cared. And this is one of the ways that they tried by creating these IPL models. IPL was meant to really stick around, and you were supposed to see other Infiniti vehicles wearing the IPL brand, but for whatever reason, this just did not take off. And me personally, I never really liked the IPL name. You can let me know in the comment section what you think of this nameplate. Obviously, today we have the Red Sport models. I'm not a huge fan of that either. I personally think they should have just used the Nismo nameplate. You know, everybody knows and loves that name, but I guess that's associated with Nissan, and maybe Infiniti wanted to do their own thing. But let us know in the comment section, should Infiniti have used the Nismo name, or should they have came up with something else that's a little bit better, because the IPL unfortunately did not stay. But really the first and only model is the G Series coupes and the convertibles. It was the only Infiniti vehicles to get this treatment. So let's just go ahead in this video. Let's talk about all the changes that were made to the IPL models of the G Series, coupes, and convertibles. Obviously, from the exterior, we have a new revised front and rear bumpers. We also have some new side skirts as well, with very large dual tailpipes in the rear. And we had some pretty sick looking 19-inch wheels. The vehicle was only available in 3 different colors: black, gray, and white. And you can also get red interior as well. The vehicle is available with 2 transmission options. You could have gotten this vehicle with the 7-speed automatic transmission and also the 6-speed manual transmission. The 7-speed automatic vehicles came with the magnesium paddle shifters. However, even the regular Infiniti G cars came with the magnesium paddles. So that wasn't something that was bespoke to the IPL models. I just wanted to let you know. And of course, we had the proper 3.7 liter V6 engine, the VQ37HR engine. It's definitely been retuned and recalibrated. We do have extra horsepower and torque here. The vehicle produces 348 horsepower and 276 pounds-feet of torque in this application, which is an 18 horsepower gain over the regular G coupes, and also a 6 pounds-feet of torque gain over the regular G models as well. So what have they done to get this increase in power? Well, they recalibrated the air-fuel mixture and the ignition timing optimization, which increased the maximum horsepower output point to 7,400 RPM as opposed to 7,000 RPM for the regular G models. This power plant was tuned for linearity, and we also had a revised exhaust system as well. And many people did say that this is pretty much the best sounding version of this 3.7 liter VQ37HR engine. And although peak power was made at 7,400 RPM, the red line was at 7,500 RPM. So definitely an engine that likes to be revved out. We also had Ram Air dual intakes. The IPL tuned high flow dual exhaust with the larger diameter piping resulted in a 30% reduction in exhaust pressure compared to a regular G coupe with its wide pipe exhaust system design. So although we have a lot of great enhancements here with the engine and with the exhaust systems and everything, it's not quite like a BMW M3 competitor. And part of the reason for that, according to Infiniti's own words, is because most people are not willing to spend up to $60,000 at that time for a Infiniti performance product. They said that they just weren't quite there yet. A manual version of the IPL G Coupe started at $48,000 roughly, and a 7-speed automatic version was around $50,000. So it was trying to undercut the M3 type vehicles, but it was supposed to be a little bit more powerful and a little bit more capable than something like a BMW 335i at the time, or even like a Audi S4 or S5, if you will. Anyway, let's continue here. These IPL G models, they came standard with a rear viscous limited slip differential, and we had an enhanced FM platform with an IPL tuned 4-wheel independent multi-link suspension. Of course, the Infiniti G products just came with a proper suspension architecture to begin with, like a double wishbone in the front and a rear multi-link. The vehicle was 20% stiffer in the front and 10% stiffer in the rear compared to a regular G model. So that fine-tuned handling and precision, that's one of the key elements of the IPL. So it wasn't just all about that straight out speed. They also wanted this to drive properly, and many people did in fact report that this was the best driving, the best sounding Infiniti G model that they have ever experienced. This car also came with some properly large brakes on it. We had 14-inch rotors in the front and 13.8-inch rotors in the rear. It was a 4-piston caliber brake system in the front and a 2-piston in the rear. And Infiniti, especially at this time, they did a great job in offering a lot of practical, useful features as standard, like the intelligent key, the push button start, the remote keyless entry system, tilt telescoping steering wheel, and the Bose audio system, the 11-speaker Bose audio with the 10-inch woofer. That was also standard. In fact, there was no options with the IPL models of the G/Q60. It just came fully loaded with all these great options that you want. It also came with a 9.3 gigabyte hard drive system to store your music, and you also had the navigation system, all that good stuff. So definitely a proper car, and these were all the changes made for the IPL models of the Infiniti G Coupes. Now, it was called a G37 or the G Coupe from 2011 to 2013. 2014, that's when they switched over to using the Q60 nameplate, and at this time we had the coupe and the convertible still. And then in 2015, the Q60 was only available as a convertible for the IPL models. So that's definitely a good thing to know. Even if you're not interested in purchasing an IPL model, if you want to buy the newest or the latest and greatest of the G series coupes, if you will, you should be shopping for the Q60 models and not the G if you want the newest version of this old school car, right? They made that up until 2015. So if you want to take advantage of that 3.7 liter naturally aspirated V6 engine, Q60, that was the way to go. And I believe with the Q50 sedan, even with that new body style, there was like one model year where they offered, I think it was in 2015, where they still had the 3.7 liter naturally aspirated V6 with the new body style of the Q50, just so you know. But yeah, in the used car market, finding an IPL model, that's going to be far and few between. Like I mentioned, this obviously failed. We never saw any other IPL models after this. They just did not sell well, so I guess Infiniti was right. Spending a lot of money on these high performance Infiniti products, it's just not something that the market really cared for, I guess. And also at the time, I guess the way most people looked at it, the vehicle was starting to become a little long in the tooth, so it was out for a long time, so many people just assumed it was an outdated car. And I suppose you had to be a very special, unique, enthusiast customer to be able to appreciate this vehicle. But let me know in the comment section, would you have bought this car when it was new? Would you like to buy it now when it's used? I mean, once again, they're far and few between, but even like the S models, I'm sure that's going to satisfy most people. After all, it's that engine that is the highlight with these vehicles. So let us know if you're an owner of this vehicle, how you like driving this vehicle and how it's held up for you. Have you had any issues with it? Hopefully you learned something new about the IPL models and the changes that took place with the IPL as opposed to a regular G or Q60. And on the end screen here, I'm going to have a video about the Infiniti G35 coupes. Click on it and I will see you there.